Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. Welcome to our 2025 ski test. Today we're talking about the Black Crow's Justis. Really cool ski. It's pretty darn unique. We can look at all the reasons why. Really the shape is probably the biggest reason why. The amount of tail rocker in this ski for being 100 underfoot and just its overall surfy feel, but combining that with a ton of power too, just sets this thing apart from really most other skis on the market. You definitely can say that it is the bigger brother to the Black Crow's Serpo. They share a lot of construction elements, but the increased tail rocker on the Justis does set it apart from a performance perspective. And it's just such a cool ski. It's so unique and cool. I just like when things are different. So construction is relatively simple, but some really important elements going on in here. It is a poplar wood core, nothing crazy there. The interesting part is this H-shaped Titanal laminate, and there's actually two of them. So two Titanal laminates, but not a full sheet of metal. So it basically ends where either one of my hand is, or where that's where it starts or ends. I don't really know whichever one you want to say, whether it starts there or ends there. So no metal in the tips and tails, and then it's only full width metal underfoot, and then kind of extends into these little wings, leaving no metal in the central portion of the ski in kind of the fore and aft sections. It isn't particularly light, so this is a 183.1, and it's, we'll call it 2,070 grams. So there is some heft to it, definitely not designed to be just like a super lightweight, ultra maneuverable ski. It is maneuverable from the shape, but it does it with a pretty robust and pretty strong feel. You could say that about the flex pattern. You know, it's a pretty stiff, pretty strong, robust flex pattern. Which is interesting. You know, if you flex this back to back with the Serpo, the Justis is definitely stiffer, but it also has much more tail rocker. So that's kind of what I was saying about how its shape is so unique. That is a lot of tail rocker for a ski that's 100 underfoot, and especially a ski that's 100 underfoot with this much metal. So they're basically taking more of a playful rocker profile and pairing it with a ski with a very powerful build and flex pattern. And it is quite unique when you get it on snow. The other thing that is worth pointing out on the Justis is there's not much early taper. So you actually get kind of extended side cut both through the tip and the tail. And what that does is even when you're at a high edge angle, you get a good effective edge. So it's kind of an interesting contrast. If you're skiing a flat ski, you benefit from kind of the wiggle factor and the surfiness of that amount of tail rocker, but then as soon as you tip it up on edge, it feels like a lot of ski. So super fun. I feel like we had 4 or 5 different people on it at our ski test this year, and Justis has been around for a few seasons now, so at this point we've tested it a lot. And Jeff, not myself, but Jeff, who works with us in customer service, this was his first year at our ski test, and it was his first time on the Justis. And for him, what really came through was its ability to just make big turns. It is a 21-meter turn radius, so I'd say on the longer side of the turn radius spectrum. Not crazy long, but longer. And I would agree. That's kind of how I feel when I ski it too. I love making big, high speed, kind of sweeping, trenchy, carving turns on it. But I personally will never forget my very first time skiing it, which is probably like 4 years ago at this point. And we had a really cool day with like 8 inches of fresh snow. I believe we were at Waterville Valley. And so 8 inches of fresh snow, but then also like really nicely manicured groomers. And there was a section of trail that people just weren't really skiing that had like untouched snow on it. And after experiencing the power and like those big sweeping carves, then taking it into powder, I was like, oh my gosh, like this thing is crazy, because it does just rip big, like kind of super G turns, but then you can get it into soft snow and it feels floaty, and it feels really balanced in soft snow, and it feels relatively intuitive. It's not hard to ski in soft snow. So it's like they're actually kind of combining like a carving ski with a powder ski, which is tremendously hard to do. And of course, this doesn't do it perfectly. I don't think anything would do that perfectly, because narrower skis are going to carve better and wider skis are going to float. But if you want a combination of both of those ingredients, it's awesome. Another thing that customer service Jeff mentioned was that it's really good for a strong athletic skier, and I think that is absolutely true as well. And you kind of saw that reflected in feedback from Jose, because he's those words describe him very well. He's younger, he's strong, he's very athletic. He's a freeride coach over at Mad River, and a phenomenal skier. And like his feedback makes it look like it's just really easy going and really easy to ski. And if you're like Jose, it's going to be, but you kind of have to like consider the fact that he's a very, very good skier. So I thought that was really interesting, just kind of seeing the contrast in feedback from Jeff, who is a very good skier in himself. He just isn't quite as aggressive, I would say, or maybe doesn't ski as fast. Typically happens the older that we get, we take less risk. So yeah, I thought just like the variety and the feedback from those two skiers was fascinating. So that's it. That's the Justis from Black Crows. Head on over to the ski test results page if you're not there already, because you can read through all that feedback that I talked about and others as well. Bob, who's, I don't know, he's over there somewhere, a few walls away or through a few walls away. He has always loved the Justis. So if you want Bob's take, go read his feedback. Yeah, that's it. That is the Justis. Let us know if you have any questions, and we will see you out there on the slopes.